All right. Let's get things started. Right, my mic's working. Yeah, you can hear me out there. Let's get this. Oh, there was another one. Let's get this going here. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and PowerShell Freak is here.
PowerShell_Freak just resubscribed for 65 months.
65 months. Thank you so much. My goodness, almost 5.5 years. Thank you for that support. Really appreciate that. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is July 8th, 2025, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. So now that I'm done greeting you, how you doing there, chat room? Let me say hello to the chat room. They're right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me say hello to some of our friends that are here, getting us started right. TMK DK with a big wave. I love code chimes in and says, for a split second, I read the notification as it's time to commit more bugs. No. We're not committing bugs. We're fixing bugs. We're writing tests. We're making things better. Phil is here.
Phil Vesey just resubscribed for 49 months.
49 months. Thank you so much for those 4 years and more. Really appreciate the support. And we got a hype train started. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to try and get to level 2. Thank you so much for that support. That is awesome. C Sharp Titan, hello, good evening to you in Melbourne. Phil Vesey, hello. Patty Boy got the first subscription on the board there. Thank you so much for 2 months with us. I really appreciate the subscription there. Surly Dev, good morning to you. Lucy, hey yo, how you doing there, friend? Great to see you. Phil with a cheer, 50 bits.
Phil Vesey cheered 50 for the train.
For the train. Yes, thank you. That'll get you a ticket and off you go. Thank you so much. And then hopefully we get to level 2. Hopefully. Lucy says we could commit bugs to help with any copyright infringement cases. I don't think we're gonna hit any of that. Oh, go ahead. Check out the hat. Here it comes. And you'll see a message there in just a second. Certainly Dev says, if the art of removing code defects is called debugging, are we bugging today? No. There you go. It's my Alaska Heritage hat. Well, it's kind of a beat up denim like hat there. There you go. For the Horde. That's right. Let me see. Mythin, hello to you, UNESCO. How's it going there? Let me get some music playing in the background here, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that I want to do today. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats playlist. I'm going to scroll down really far here. Let's start here. This is called Vibrant Velocity. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. There's all kinds of genres available. There you go, and you can see the songs right up there. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. I do have to stop a little bit early today. I have a gunner meeting, talking to folks about glasses and some of the cool stuff coming down there. 2.5 minutes left on that hype train. So I'm looking forward to connecting and talking to some of those folks about what's going on in the world of computer eyewear. So we have that going on. And what'd you think of the Duke Nukem announcement message? Was that did you pick up on the flavor there? Did you get what was happening there? Yeah. I'm trying to put some more announcement messages that are interesting, that are fun. So, how you doing there? Napalm Code, C Sharp Titan with the question. Any news on the visor glasses? So, several things that are interesting there. They did not publish a blog post or send out any announcement, any PR, to indicate that there was a change. They did ship out a couple of pre-production units to some of the community members, 2 community members who have been extremely active on their Discord. And they claim that those pre-production units are the final hardware. That's what they claim, and that the software is advancing and there's updates happening on the software for those devices. And these two fellas are getting updates regularly on their, frequently on those devices that they're testing and using. So I guess I would call them almost an extended quality assurance at this point. There was a discussion last week about how investors are getting a little bit more information, a little bit more details about what's going on. And they claimed they were going to be shipping all of the Founders Edition units in Q2 2025. I can tell you they have not shipped all of the units in Q2 2025. I can tell you that the only update they made on June 30th is they updated the FAQ so that now it doesn't say all Founders Edition units will be shipped in Q2. It now says shipping has commenced. You will be contacted by email for final shipping confirmation and information. I view that as a bit of a cop-out. I view the folks who have made a pre-purchase more than 2 years ago when they first announced these devices. I view them as investors in the same way that Kickstarter pre-purchasers are investors, because you gave them a free loan effectively for 2 years. I'm almost a year and a half into since I put down my deposit for pre-purchased a visor device. So I'm disappointed. And because I wrote on their forum that, hey, the folks who pre-purchased your devices here, they've given you a free loan and they've invested. I was timed out. I was banned. I was given a week ban on their Discord. So, okay, you don't like a little bit. I mean, the truth hurts that you're really late on your delivery, and your customers, your passionate customers, are not happy. So, customer feedback and hit with a ban. Yeah. So, we will see what happens here. But I stand by my belief that I've paid the money. The device will come at some point, but they have significantly missed another deadline. Like, flat out missed significantly, and they're not giving new deadlines. They're not giving new timelines at this point, and that's disappointing. They need to get their keister in gear here. That is.
Oh my!
I'm kind of beside myself on this. Like, what are you gonna do that you've promised this and you still haven't delivered? At some point, you need to come clean and say, here's what's happening. Because they claim that they've got more than 70,000 folks that pre-purchased. That's right. They should say, hey, it's not ready. Hey, you know what? The hardware, there's something that we're trying to tweak and fix on this. The software isn't quite ready. There's something that we're trying to... Something. Radio silence for 6 months is unacceptable at this point. And you've missed your second and third deadlines. Come on, man. Yeah, I could see someone running away with a suitcase full of cash also. Because they're still taking investments, and they're pushing for more investments online when you go to their website. Come on. Let's get with the program here. I'm not running the Charlie bot right now. Oh my gosh. Honora Rain with a raid. Thank you so much, bringing over your viewers. How you doing there, Honora? Let us know what you were doing on your channel. Big thanks for the raid. Storyteller mode. Give me a few minutes and we'll get back into that. Thank you so much. How you doing there, Raiders? My name is Jeff Fritz. We're just getting started. We're going to be writing some code with C#. I've got a chatbot that I want to tweak and tune and show off a little bit here. And then we're going to dive back into an open source application that we've been working on off and on, and it's been kind of parked a bit since November. There's the hat AI. It's going to tell you what my hat is right here in just a second. Burger B, hello to you. There you go. It's my Alaska heritage hat. We're going to dive back into TagzApp, making some 3D models. Very cool. Much respect to the designers, the artists, the creators that are able to do 3D modeling. I don't have the artistic eye for it. I don't have the steady hand to be able to do it well. So much respect to you. That's awesome stuff there. I'll drop a quick shout out. Come on there. There it is. There you go. So check out Honora Rain. Thank you so much for the raid. Iris, how you doing there? Good morning to you. So I don't have the bot running yet. I want to show you. I built a bunch of unit tests last night. I had Copilot generate a bunch of unit tests, and man, were they wrong. So I went through and did a bunch of fixes to them, and I found that some of the scoping that I had done of some of the methods inside my chatbot, Copilot went and put a wrapper around my protected and internal methods and made these wrappers public. And that kind of frustrated me. So I want to go through and inspect and tweak and tune some of that, because there's a purpose. There's a reason why I make that, right? Why when we're writing code, we declare scope of some of our methods and features as internal, private, or protected. So I want to take a look at that, see if we can tweak and tune some of that. I wouldn't mind getting another feature into the mix. I'm not going to go into, we had started talking about some analytics coming off the map feature. I'm not going to go into that on stream. I think there's some other interesting things that that we can put together here. There was an idea that was floated to me about Pomodoro mode. And putting some sort of an indicator on screen that, hey, we're in a Pomodoro right now and Fritz is focused with a countdown timer. That could be fun. That could be fun. So I do want to get the the channel point redemptions from Twitch working. But I think Pomodoro mode might be fun to do here on stream, because that'll be something quick, something we can put together, a little overlay to help with, and yeah, move that forward and be able to create that indicator on screen that, hey, Fritz is focused on something right now, and we're going to come back in a little bit. So let's see. Oh, I ordered. Fritz has been ordering things on Amazon. I ordered one of those narrow widescreen touchscreen devices. Right? It's intended for travel. It's intended to be a secondary display with your laptop. I'm going to use it here because I want to put that dashboard that I've been building for the chatbot, where I'll be able to see the question queue, the map, some of the other things that I control with the chatbot. I want to be able to see that in front of me and be able to touch that without it being on screen and interrupting what's going on. So I'm going to be, that's supposed to arrive tomorrow. So I should have that installed and running for Thursday's stream. Certainly Dev chimes in here. Pomodoro mode needs an overlay. Yes. And a shader that makes me look like a tomato. No. No. Much respect to Finite Singularity and the work that he's doing on the various shaders and plugins in OBS. Really, really cool stuff. Amazing effects that he's adding. I just want to put a tomato with a timer in the corner. Like, here you go. Fritz is working, and here's how long on this Pomodoro, and maybe a Pomodoro command so that you can see a little bit of information about what Pomodoro, what the Pomodoro method is. And I'm saying Pomodoro. Pomodoro means tomato, right? But the Pomodoro practice. It is right as a way for, particularly tech folks use this, for us to stay focused for 25 minutes at a time, to have a little sprint of uber focus time. When that time runs up, take 5 minutes to do something else, to acknowledge something, but to have that breather. Get up, go get yourself a beverage, use the restroom, what have you. Go look back at your emails, Teams messages, Slack messages, whatever it might be. And it's called the Pomodoro timer because folks would use kitchen timers that were shaped like a tomato. So I think that's something that would be fun and easy to build here in about an hour on stream. But I want to show you and go through it and talk a little bit about these changes that Copilot rolled into the Charlie chatbot and have that discussion of and gosh, you can't 100% trust the code that AIs generate. I had a discussion yesterday with one of my teammates, Bruno, who was sent an email. I've got to be careful about how I describe this. Who was sent an email from an organization that his family works with, let's say. And this organization said, hey, we wrote a little web application that's going to help us communicate, schedule, and changes and things. And the web application was built completely with one of the AI tools available on the web. It wasn't Copilot, but it was an AI tool set. It didn't do anything to generate passwords. It didn't do anything to hash passwords. Folks' user IDs were their email address and their passwords were their kids' names. There was autocomplete on the password box. There was autocomplete on the password box because they sent down all the passwords in a gzipped blob that JavaScript would unzip, load this JSON block into memory, and use that to autocomplete passwords. The password box was not a password.
Oh my.
This was not a password input component. It was a clear text box with autocomplete. There's plenty more that Bruno found by doing some simple security analysis. And it was disturbing. So I want to go through and spend a little bit of time showing you the changes that Copilot made because I turned on Copilot YOLO mode. Right? YOLO, you only live once. Just let it go and do the things, acknowledge it all. I'm not going to interrupt you. Go do the thing I told you to do. And I'm going to show you some of the changes that it made that I'm going to roll back, that I'm going to work around a little bit here, and we're going to, I'm going to show you, it did generate a fantastic collection of tests. It did. It generates some amazing documentation. It does. But as professional developers, as developers who are learning the craft of software engineering, keep an eye on what's being generated and shared for you, what's being delivered for you, because it might not always be the best. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. Let me get my Gunners on here. These are the Pinnacles. These are Gunners Pinnacle glasses, nice wide lenses that curve around a little bit, and they've got, you can see here, they're really close with nice wide wire frame. There you go. Take a look at the hat. So I really enjoy these ones. They were just released a few weeks ago. If you're interested in a set of Gunner glasses, if you like the designs, they can make these designs with your prescription. Even if you take bifocals and you need the gradual prescription change, they can do transitions on these. All kinds of great stuff. And sunglasses as well. Check it out at gunner.com. Big thanks to them for their continued sponsorship and support of me as a creator and this channel. So you can find a coupon for 15% off just below. Let me catch up on chat here. Let me see there. Eric, how you doing there? Svekos, good afternoon to you. Eric says, without that get up of 5 minutes in my case, I end up looking like a tomato. You're not wrong, Eric. And I am very guilty of it, particularly when I'm streaming here. You see me. I'm sitting here for 2, 3, 4 hours writing code, talking to you. So my other camera is back now. My daughter had borrowed it. So I'm going to be getting the other set back up and running, and we'll do some coding over there and back and forth so that is a little bit more movement from me during stream. Will the Pomodoro timer have a liquid glass overlay? I'll think about it. That's not a terrible idea. Jason Bach is here on YouTube. How you doing there, Jason? Jason says you can't trust the code from anyone or anything. Validate inputs, that includes code. Absolutely. Totally agree. Remember, when you ship code, when you ship an application, a website, it's not the AI that's shipping it. You're shipping it. Your name is attached to it. Make sure that what is included in there is something that you approve of and meets your standards. So now you can do automated things to help ensure it meets your standards. Add unit tests, integration tests, end-to-end tests. Have a strong continuous integration pipeline that does all of those tests, does other code inspections, formatting, and checks, reports that stops the flow of things because it doesn't meet your standards. You can automate all of those things because you're putting in checks that ensure that your code, your application meets your standards. Totally cool. Absolutely. That's something, and even if you automate the generation of that, you have to approve the generation and delivery of those tests, of those standards, of that continuous integration pipeline. And you then have a little bit of an automated pipeline and mountain of capabilities that you're standing on to ensure you're delivering good code. I think that's a good thing. Vibe-coded final boss, B. Checkle. You're not wrong. Apricot, greetings to you in Ukraine. How you doing there? You think YOLO is better than vibe coding? YOLO coding? Vibe coding only goes so far. And I've tried to do more vibe coding with a couple of projects. And I'll let it get only so far, and then I'll reel it back in. Particularly around writing tests, generating documentation. Go do those things and help me with these things that are the toil, the things that I don't like to spend time doing. Go generate those things and let me focus on building the features that I want. Give me suggestions for how to expand this feature. Give me suggestions for how I can improve the architecture, the flow of how these things work. Totally on board with that. But having those automated tests and that human eye to validate is so important. Napalm says, I found unit tests to be very hit or miss. Maybe after I wrote a few and it gets the idea. I think this is a place where we need some instructions to help out with that. Ads are running right now on Twitch. Pre-roll ads are going to be disabled for the next 42 minutes, but for the next 2 minutes, folks on Twitch are catching some ads. No ads over on YouTube. If you're a subscriber watching on Twitch, thank you so much for your support. It's like having a herd of cats on leashes. Let's go. Yeah, you're not wrong. Lazy Dev says, I think that as complexity grows, AI becomes not as useful as CEO folks make it out to be. Lazy Dev, oh gosh, you're not going to hear me reply to you. I think as complexity grows, we end up using more tokens with our AI to build smaller, simpler capabilities. Within that complex system, we use more tokens. And we are climbing a mountain right now. If you were to plot the number of tokens versus the number of features delivered, the number of tokens used, right? And we know AI tokens are, right, a unit of measurement of how complex the AI is analyzing a prompt that's being delivered to it. We are headed up a mountain of tokens being used versus the complexity of the application. And we are going to continue ascending that. At some point, I believe in the next 6 to 18 months, we're going to come crashing down the other side. That's my belief. Let me see here. How you doing there, Chuck Beasley? Good morning to you. Lucy says, I really dislike people relying on AI coding things. It's like a mass scale variant of copying stuff off of Stack Overflow into a phone app for a big car manufacturer, leaving it entirely unchanged with user visible messages along the lines of the art of software development is copying off of Stack Overflow. A lot of the code that I end up generating and using is kind of boilerplate stuff. It's that toil that I don't want to spend time writing. So, the ultimate questions you need to make sure of is, 1, do you understand the code the AI gave you? Yes. 2, does it do what was intended? That's I think the most important one. And 3, do you have the tests to prove the above? If you don't have the tests, but you do understand what it's doing, I think you're in good shape. But point heard. Let me head over to the code here and I'll show you a little bit of what's going on. So we were talking about the various location commands that the Charlie chatbot has that allow you to interact with the map feature, right? For those of you that haven't seen, the new chatbot that I'm building called Charlie has this feature. It's a map where folks that are in chat that say, hey, how you doing? I'm watching from, and they share a location, we'll drop a pin on a map to show, hey, look at where all the folks are viewing from. So I have this class that manages that feature. It's called Chatter Map Feature because I'm not very creative at naming classes. So what I wanted to do inside this method handler, this event handler on chat message received, when somebody sends in a location command, so that is, they pass in a location that starts with exclamation point location, we're going to do a series of things. This is kind of the override to allow you to tweak, tune a location. And moderators and me as the broadcaster have certain capabilities that we can do. And if it doesn't recognize the location command, then it's going to check to see if somebody said, hey, here's my location, and analyze that message to see if somebody has said, hey, I'm watching from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from, and be able to turn that into a location that we're going to put on the map. So, and then this goes through and it does some geocoding. If there's an error, reply to chat. And then it puts the location on the map. Not bad. What Copilot did, I asked Copilot to generate some unit tests. I want to test the location command and add them to the test project. And oh boy, did it. And here they are. Handle location command, and it generated a ton of tests in here, including some other tests to even theories here to verify roles being able to interact. This didn't initially work. The test methods that it wrote weren't lined up quite right. The way that it executed the methods, it wasn't using async properly. It found some issues in my code in how I was calling and executing different methods. And it changed the scope of some of my methods. And that's what I want to go through here and address. Let me catch up a little bit on chat here. People are promoting the concept of uncritically relying on AI. Lucy, I agree. Using AI and reviewing what it delivers is important. You need to critically use the AI. It's going to help you, but don't assume it's done everything 100% correct. And I'm going to show you how it didn't do everything correct here. C# Titan asks, is VS Code my go-to code editor now? For now. For now it is. I'm certainly enjoying. I think there's some features that I've been able to use and get around here that are quite nice. And when I switch over and I'm using my Linux laptop, I'm in VS Code over there, and it's nice to have the same editor in all the places. Jackrabbit 2 says 2 space indentation. That's right. I use 2 space indentation because I want to fit more code on screen so that you can see it. If I had used 8 space indentation, you wouldn't be able to see half the code that I wrote. I used to use when I was a professional developer and I wasn't doing community interaction and content generation, I used to use a 4 space indent. And that felt better. And even then, I use tab indentation, right? It happens to be that number of spaces. But I use 2 because it's enough to for my human eyes, offset and show me where the changes in things are. But also importantly, particularly when I'm turning code into content for blog posts, for videos, live streams, for, dare I say, magazines and hard copy. It fits more code in the space, horizontal space allocated. So, Lazy Dev says there are people that rely on influencers when it comes to having opinions on various subjects. Oh, you are so true, Lazy Dev. And that frustrates me significantly because there are influencers out there, tech personalities out there that are extremely gatekeepy. They are gatekeeping like you wouldn't believe. And that's not something that benefits anyone. That's fine entertainment. But that doesn't encourage folks to be developers. That doesn't encourage folks to try new things, to explore new technologies. That doesn't help folks grow their career, because some of the things they're saying and doing and encouraging are actually going to damage your career. So I agree. Don't rely 100% on influencers. Don't rely 100% on me. I'm going to point you in the right direction for things that I believe are going to improve your career, help you do things better, faster, more productively. Take a look at what I'm suggesting, think critically about it, and make sure that it applies to you and your situation. And that's all I ask. But Lazy Dev continues, it really depends on the person's level of critical thinking, whether they consume information blindly or they also validate its value. Yep, totally agree. Digital Dummy says, we trust you. Thank you. I hope that in the 7+ years that I've been streaming here on Twitch and YouTube, that you've found my content to be trustworthy. I'm going to continue pushing on that. So, Eddie says, I've been using the GitHub MCP agents and my experiences vary wildly. So the funny thing about using MCP is MCP, the Model Context Protocol, the add-in tools that an AI can use are deterministic. However, the AI and how and when it decides to call the MCP and what methods it decides to execute on the MCP is non-deterministic. So you've got this weird mashup of, I don't know what it's going to do, and when it does finally call this thing, I know what it's going to do. And we saw this issue with how this feature, the map feature, was interacting with the MCP that I wrote for interacting and going and calling. It wasn't even an MCP, it was an embedded tool. How it was going to call a geocoding API. It was awful. OpenWeb UI seems nice these days to generate stuff. Okay. Apricot has been watching since 2021. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Chuck chimes in saying everything should be trust but verify. Yes. Yes. I hope I've proven a good tracker record here of trustworthy things that I say and do. So. All right, so let me show you what Copilot did and where I'm not thrilled. Down here, it wrote, it wrote these public handlers. Did it? No. So it wrote these public methods that just reach in and call, in this case, a protected method. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I want to address that. Cappuccino Trash, how you doing? Welcome. I do enjoy a good cappuccino, but when it doesn't taste good, I feel you there. Hope you're having a good day. Welcome in. So I want to explore, and look at this. It even has 0 references. So why the heck do we have this thing? Right? Get rid of that. This has 0 references. Okay, get rid of that. And this has 0 references. All right. And if I go back and I say run my tests again, are we still good? I hope we're good. You do enjoy a good cappuccino? Yeah. I shared last week that see that? Look, error building the projects. I shared last week that I have started on a diet. I'm down 5 pounds already. And now I'm getting in, right? The first 5 pounds is easy. Now I'm getting into the tough part. And I was looking at, hey, over the weekend, I want to run to Starbucks and get a nice cup of coffee. And then I saw how that Starbucks coffee fits into my diet. Oh, I'm not going to be drinking at Starbucks anytime soon. Oh my gosh. So I'll stick with my Keurig and a little cup of coffee. I'm all right there. So it tells me there's a bunch of errors building here. Now, it's saying that those methods were needed. Oh my gosh. Haliatus vocifer? I'm sure I mispronounced that. You'd like to contribute to SharpSite. I read the documentation, did not see any documentation on how to run it locally. It's built with .NET Aspire. I think we mentioned that in the contributing doc. Here. Fork the repository. .NET 9 SDK, configure Docker or Podman. .NET Restore, .NET Build, DevCerts. Run the project with .NET Aspire from the SharpSite app host folder, .NET Run. And it should start up and get those features running for you. I'll drop this link into chat so you can take a look at that. But let me know. Drop me a line on our Discord if that isn't working and I can walk you through. But the work with .NET Aspire should start up and be very easy to use. There's the default user. And we ask you to create a feature branch, and that, do I mention there's a no, I don't mention and we have to go back and do translations again at some point there. But I'm trying to focus on doing SharpSite on Thursdays and other code projects on Tuesdays. I'm trying to stick with that schedule. So, Digital Dummy says I can treat myself every now and again. Yes. However, I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. I'm trying to stay focused and disciplined in trying to lose weight. Quite frankly, when I flew to my last flight was Seattle for Microsoft Build in May. I was not happy with myself. With how I fit into an airplane seat. I wanted more room to use my laptop. I wanted more room to stretch out, and I wasn't comfortable with myself in that space. There's other health reasons that I'm trying to help myself with by losing. I'm trying to lose about 35 pounds. And quite frankly, if you look at my videos on YouTube, my live stream videos, you can see in my face that I'm gaining weight. I hope to reverse that trend, and you'll see from the end of June going forward, I hope you start to notice that my face is losing weight, and that I am getting healthier. So, Eddie's been on a fitness kick. My problem now is when I look at food in the store menu, I only see the calorie count. I totally feel you there. I went food shopping last night with Mrs. C Sharp Fritz, and I'm walking around, and there were entire aisles at the supermarket where I just did not want to walk down the aisle because it made me feel sad, made me feel disturbed with some of the food that was down there. Like, Grego Waffles, hello to you. Like, I wouldn't even look. There was one aisle that I went down that had prepackaged nuts and popcorn and other small snack items like that on the one side. The other side was all sugar-based foods and snacks and breakfast cereals on that side. It was just I did not want to look at that at all until I got to the end. Pick up a little bit of oatmeal, something like that. I did pronounce it well. Oh, cool. We'll do that later tonight and start contributing. Thank you. Haliaetus vocifer is the scientific name for Africa eagle. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for offering to contribute. There is a forum. There is a channel on the Discord for SharpSight where some folks have commented and we've discussed a couple things. And you'll also find on the Discord that it automatically posts updates from GitHub Actions and pull requests into that forum as well. Thank you so much. Cafetiere a piston with French roast. You want to build a macro calorie tracker app. You just don't have time. So Eddie, I will share. I am doing Weight Watchers. It was easy for me to jump in and do. Their tracking apps on the phone are so easy to use. So easy to use. They've done it. They've done a very nice job to make that easy to work with. They've got a barcode scanner built into the app so that when you go to record, here's what I ate. If it's something that came out of a box or was prepackaged, you can just scan it and it will record it. Great stuff. Really great stuff. Okay, so I was over here and these 0 references are they're wrong. That's wrong. So let's go figure out where it's using this. I knew it. So here's the thing. I don't need... Well, that's inside the feature, and that's over here. That's not the only place that it's using it, though. Right? See, there it is in the razor. But why didn't you find that? Like, now I'm wondering about the Copilot search, because this is telling me it's on Test Chatter Map. On 139. Yeah, see, it's right there. So, if I head back to that, right? What? Oh, for recording plot location. All right, this one. Right, I should be able to call this, right, internal protected, and is it going to find it now? Right? Yeah. And that works. Did I hear about Barely Fit? You know the dev from LinkedIn? No. Do you have a link there? What doesn't it like? No, it does. You just haven't reloaded it yet. Remove location public on 159 of the same here. Right? And I have a feeling it's the same thing I want to do here. This one. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're good there. Let's get rid of you. I'm just going to get rid of these. Right? And let's take that and make this internal. Right, the internal protected scope keyword says that this is protected. It can be accessed by child objects that inherit this, and it can be accessed directly internally to this within this project. So I'm allowing it to be accessed internally here, which should help, right? Parse and handle message. This one, record. Yeah. All right. So now let me run the tests again. Go run everything. That should build and run, and we should see a bunch of tests succeed. And then, oh, the test project is going to say, oh, I don't know what those are because, warning. Show me the errors. Errors. Warning. We need to get rid of those. Warning. Error. Yep, there's another one. But the no. I want you to go there. Why won't you? No, don't need you. Don't need you right now. Don't need you. Sure. Go ahead and run them all again then. See what we get. Barely.fit. What do we got? Health app for the average bear. Your health, your data. I would have liked to have seen some screenshots or something. I'll follow up on that. Okay, so it looks like... Did they run? Chris Funk!
Chris Funk 21
yeah,
just
looks like they are.
Subscribed for 48 months. How has it been 4 years already?
How has it? Thank you so much, Chris Funk. 4 years with us. I really appreciate the resub. Thank you so much. So... That's their Twitch. Cool. I'll have to check it out. Where to go? Cool. So that looks like everything is running properly. Good. Got rid of those extra public methods in there, so I will go queue those all up. Publish that, and away we go. Hey, CTI Geek, hello. Hoping let me we can talk about this a little bit. Hey, VV, good to see you. There were layoffs last week. These are... Oh, thank you for the resub. Hello.
Tajik just resubscribed for 26 months. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for the resub. Bringing that Prime subscription here. Yeah. So last week, the layoffs at Microsoft were centered around, and these are all things that are written in the public. I'm not talking about anything that is not published in the public, but they were centered around sales, a little bit of marketing folks, and a lot of folks in the game studios. It's always disappointing. It's sad to see layoffs. It feels disappointing that there's a change. There's a change in direction, and instead of retraining, using the folks that you already have working for you to focus and go after that new direction, it's disappointing when folks think, well, it's going to be easier to cut them loose and then go find other qualified people to go after that direction. It's always disappointing when that happens. I'm frustrated that this is the third set of layoffs in 6 months that we've seen, that the public has seen 3 distinct rounds of layoffs. That's disappointing. That has the bloggers, the tech analysts, the folks on Wall Street making assumptions about what's happening, what's going on at Microsoft. Maybe they're right. I don't know. But what it does also do is it erodes confidence in the security of folks who are applying for positions. Folks who are considering going and wanting to work for Microsoft, wanting to work for any big tech company that has rolling layoffs, like we're seeing, and Microsoft's not the only one. It communicates an insecurity of those positions because there are folks being dismissed frequently. That's an insecurity that I have heard from some people. It's disappointing. Evidently, it's necessary for the business direction. I don't know. I don't have insight into that. I know there are people that are disappointed because there were games that were planned. There were games that folks were enjoying that have been discontinued, that have been canceled, whole studios that have been closed. Once again, you couldn't retask them to go work on something else? You've already invested how many hundreds of millions in building, developing games, products that you're canceling? There's a business decision that's made there that, quite frankly, costs hundreds of millions of dollars because of the scope of some of those decisions that were made in those divisions. It's disappointing, and to some folks, it's unsettling. I'm not happy with it. I know many other employees are not happy with it either. And that's about all I can say about it at this point. Patty Boy works for a global organization as well, and while laying people off, they're sending out surveys asking us to tell them what a great company. Yes! Yes! We're a long way from 15 years ago when startups were being purchased just to absorb the talent. I think we're going to see a round of that happen again. And we are seeing that happen with folks buying the talent from various analyst companies, AI companies, AI studios that are building models, training models, that are advancing that technology stack. Folks that are building hardware to better support those techniques, technologies, that software. We're seeing, we are absolutely seeing a mind race, right? A race for that talent. I think, however, the United States government is not making wise decisions to support that talent race. And if I was the European Union, I would be dropping tax rates. I would be backing off on some of the intellectual property laws and requirements to make it very appealing to build and run and have high-tech startups in wherever it might be, in Belgium, The Hague, the Netherlands. If I was the EU, get on your horse and make it really attractive. Put in grants. Pay people to move their companies, to move their startups to Europe. Drive the incentive to start these smaller companies. Ireland, sure. Yeah. Let me head back over to the code. EU is too concentrated on fine-tuning bottle caps now. Yeah. There are principles that folks in the EU are overly focused on, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They're overly focused on things, and they're nitpicking on a bunch of stuff that isn't getting them anywhere. Get focused on attracting and getting that Wild West growth happening, because the United States has made it clear they don't want that right now. The federal government in this country does not want free thinkers, innovators, folks from other countries coming here, whether it's to learn or participate and grow a business. The administration has made it clear they do not want folks from outside the country here, and that's stifling innovation. They've removed how many grants and tax benefits to grow tech companies. The United States, for at least the next 3 years, is not a place of technical growth. They are not supporting, growing, and encouraging it. What's going to happen here is going to happen because of the folks that are here. It is not a welcoming, encouraging place for science, for technology, or for business. It's ridiculous. The EU is a regulatory body and not an innovative body. I think you are very spot on with that. Poland is becoming a big tech hub now, especially Warsaw and Krakow. Yeah, I believe it. We're asking Gemini for tips on how to not get wet noses when drinking milkshake from a bottle. Unfortunately, yeah. So I think those tests all work. Did I publish? It sure looks like I published. Yeah, I published. So now let me pivot a little bit. Hang on. So let me merge in this change. Pull request. All tests pass. Good. And merge. Fantastic. Delete the branch. All right. Here. Where was I? Well, change branches and... Really? I should have a video coming out today on the .NET YouTube channel about adding custom metrics to .NET Aspire. Pretty cool video coming out. It's a little 10-15 minute video. There's another one coming next week about adding custom tracing. And the following week after that, I have another video about naming and reusing constants in .NET Aspire projects. So lots more videos coming about using and advancing your .NET Aspire capabilities. Let me jump over a branch there and delete the other one. Fix. Add chatter map tests and pull. Cool. All right. So what was the feature I was saying I wanted to build? It was... Oh, Pomodoro mode. Yes. So, right, I am going to use... And I do think this is a good way to... Where'd the chat go? Wow. That's not what I wanted. Open... Really? What's that do? No. No. I wanted this, like docked in there. I guess I can't do that anymore. Right? No. Open chat in editor. Ah, that's what I wanted. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with Claude. So there's different models with Copilot that you can use that behave and interact and do different things here. No, Charlie Code isn't available yet. No. I'm going to start with Claude Sonnet because it's very descriptive and exploratory in what it's doing. I want to develop a new feature for the chatbot called Pomodoro mode that that is triggered by the broadcaster from the dashboard. Yeah. When this mode starts, a tomato image with a 25-minute timer should be displayed in an overlay. This is a time when the broadcaster will be focused and not responding to chat. Let's see what it does. One thing in Aspire, Eric says, I'd like to understand is how to get and pull connection string details from the Aspire environment without ending up tightly coupling the names of Aspire variables. What do you mean? Show me some, give me some sample code that you don't like, because I think you can pretty much do what you're talking about there. But give me a little bit more details on that, Eric. And we can talk about that. Sure, you want to understand it? Go ahead. Go figure that out. It found the dashboard. It's reading the dashboard. Good. Good. So now it's going to create the Pomodoro mode feature. Fantastic. A Pomodoro mode feature inherits from base Charlie feature to dashboard component with controls to start and stop the timer. I like that. I didn't specifically ask for that, but that makes sense. What else do we have here? An overlay component to display the tomato image and timer. Nice. A tomato image asset. And there was a suggestion to do the liquid glass finish to that. I think we'll do something with that as well. Create the dashboard component for controlling the Pomodoro mode. So it already created a feature. Here, let's open you to the side. Right? And over here, we'll leave that open so I can take a look at what's over here. Remaining time, remaining minutes, remaining seconds. Do I really need that? Maybe. I don't know. So it created a component Create the overlay. Fantastic. I'll create a page specifically for the overlay that can be used in OBS. Ha-ha! Initialize and start is enable true. Okay. Start Pomodoro is active true. Start time equals now. Create a timer that updates every second. On Pomodoro status changed invoke. So we have an event that it's going to... and we're going to write a message to the UI. I think I want to change that. Questions will be queued and answered when the session ends. That's not bad. Stop Pomodoro is active false. Dispose the timer and null it out. Pomodoro status change. That makes sense. Not bad. Timer callback. Elapsed remaining. Okay, makes sense. And when the session ends, stop Pomodoro. Stop. Okay. Where's that event? This one. Okay. That's not bad. Oh, wait a sec. There was a tomato SVG it created. Created Pomodoro control razor. What do we got here? Pomodoro mode. Focus mode active. Time remaining. See, that could have just formatted time there instead of having additional methods. Otherwise, start a 25-minute focus session to minimize chat. And there is a play button that says Start Pomodoro. Nice. Cool. It got the feature properly. Start and stop. Nice. Utkakar, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the follow. Created a page specifically for use inside of OBS. If this is a page, then it needs a page directive here. So there's a timer, there's an image for the tomato, and a message focus mode. Some CSS. I'd really like the CSS to be outside of this so it gets included, but we'll take a look and see about that. It grabs the feature and yeah, created a tomato image. What's that look like? That's a tomato. It created that SVG for me. Nice. What else did we do here? Register the feature with the DI container. So inside of program CS, inside of, right, program CS, you're building? Okay, you can build. There it is, registering the feature. All of my features are registered with the service locator so that I don't have to go and wire anything up. It just finds them and connects them up to the services. Let me see here. Need to add the Pomodoro control to the dashboard. Pomodoro overlay component to the main layout. Yep. There's Pomodoro overlay CSS. Ooh. I guess we're trying this. Okay. What AI tool am I using in VS Code? This is GitHub Copilot. Is it? I don't see it here in Simple Browser. Like, I haven't gotten Simple Browser working well at all. Create some tests for... Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, okay. So it updated the Pomodoro overlay to use the external CSS. I don't see that here. I don't see that, friend. Oh, it wrote it as a full page. No. That's not right. Is it still running tests? Oh, now it's running tests. Okay. I think I'm going to end up having to change this. Because, right, it lives within a layout and it needs to behave and live within it. This is clearly off the reservation. It's not working quite right, quite the way we expect here. It's not using Blazor features the way it should be. What the heck is this? Try that again. There it is, going to run .NET test. Yeah. So it sounds like it's down the right path of getting this all working properly, but this is going to need some help. Ice Cream Stick Model asks, in Blazor, is there a dispose event or similar for Blazor component to trigger code when a component will be clean upped? Yes. You don't need to you don't need to do there is not natively a dispose method on a Blazor component. You can add it by using the @attribute directive at the top of the Blazor file. I will warn you that the dispose might not be called when you expect it to be. Different render modes have different times that they will call the dispose. Blazor server-side rendered calls dispose immediately. It renders, done rendering, dispose. Blazor server interactive with pre-rendering will call dispose immediately after it pre-renders, run again for the interactive mode, and hang out there. But it called dispose once. It's going to call it again after it releases the page or component that it rendered. WebAssembly is the same thing. And you need to test and tinker with, because dispose doesn't necessarily, like I said, it doesn't necessarily run when you think it's going to. David Pine's Blazor speech recognition package is awesome. Yeah, tell me more, Chuck. Do you have a link for us? Here we go. I love when the AI comes back and says, okay, I'm done. And it has this report. I've successfully implemented the Pomodoro mode feature. Here's what was created. A main feature class with, that sounds right, a dashboard component for starting, stopping sessions, an overlay page that has all of this. Cool. These look the same. dedicated OBS overlay with full transparent background, optimized for streaming software, enhanced animation and effects, progress indicator. Okay. It created a tomato SVG styled CSS, animated effects including rotation and pulsing. Wow. Progress bar, red color scheme matching the tomato theme. I'll be the judge of that. Event-driven architecture for real-time updates, timer management, and so on and so forth. Use the dashboard for Pomodoro mode card, OBS integration on /Pomodoro overlay. Nice. Perfect for focus sessions during coding streams. Automatic messages inform users about focus mode. I'm probably going to want to tune them. And I think it also, yeah, created a markdown file describing what the feature is. Nice. That might change, but nice. I love having asking and directing the AI to generate a bit of documentation that says, this is what I did, right? To a little bit of our discussion earlier, it helps me, it helps other humans review and take a look at exactly what was delivered. If I need method references between components and ensure that manually attached references will be cleaned up correctly and not cause any memory leaks. They should be disconnected properly and cleaned up properly. Should be. That being said, GC doesn't run as much as folks think it should inside of Blazor applications. There was a customer that came to the ASP.NET team complaining of memory leaks. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing that it's using more and more memory inside my ASP.NET application. And the question back was, are you out of memory? Has it used all the memory on the machine that's been allocated to it? Well, no. That's the way .NET works. .NET will not run the garbage collector. It runs it infrequently, and it will run it when it feels memory pressure. So it's going to run very infrequently, but only when it feels memory pressure. Thank you for the follow, Backton. So it's good to disconnect things manually. Take a look at that dispose implementation and see if it fits your needs. But unless when you're keeping a weak reference to something, like I am here, it will disconnect properly and clean up the memory when you navigate away. Chuck says, I added speech to text to the Foundry local Blazor app in your article. There's the package. Finally put my code behind my article up on GitHub. Nice. And this is using the speech features in the browser, isn't it? So that's not a bad idea to put into Charlie either. Hey, Stallone over there on YouTube. How you doing there? What am we building today? So this is my chatbot. It's not running right now, but I'm adding a Pomodoro feature so that we can take some time and say, okay, this is going to be a focused block of time where we're writing code and we'll respond and answer to questions and interact with chat at the conclusion of this. Looks like it generated things nicely. We're going to take a look and review that, and then we're going to roll over and look at TagzApp, our social media application that allows us to interact and gather messages from a series of different social media networks and services and present them on screen. We use TagzApp extensively for the .NET Conf series of events. There's another event or two that are going to be using it coming up later this month. So, you created your own Pomodoro timer and task tracker? Oh, cool. Yeah, these things need to be, they don't need to be, but they can be very simple. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Work, short break, long break. Yeah. Right? The simple Pomodoro is 25 minutes and then a 5-minute short break, 25 minutes, and then I forget how long the long break's, 15 minutes. After, I forget if is it 2 or 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer 15-minute break. So, and then being able to gather tasks and kind of have a report of here's the things that are completed. That's cool. Statistics, nice. That's a cool little progressive web app. Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Apricot. So, check out the web app there. Surly Dev asks, will Charlie gather the questions during the Pomodoro and queue them up so you just get a list of questions? That's already done. We already have that with the question queue feature. Yes. TagzApp is one cool app, so useful. I think so. This is a chat bot for my live streams. Not only does the chat bot manage interactions with chat, but it also generates videos coming out the other side as well. So I've been pleasantly happy with some of the capabilities that it's that I've been able to grow for this, and you're gonna see more of this over the next few weeks. As long as the question has a question mark at the end, or they specifically use my handle, my screen name. So, all right. You need to implement kind of event bus between Blazor components. If some information changes, then it should trigger the other component's method. How to weak reference correctly. So, you're going to have some sort of a singleton out there that has your queue in it that you're passing messages across. Having that inside of a singleton that's being shared back and forth, it'll maintain that as a weak reference. That singleton class is a reference type. It'll be managed and handled by the dependency injection container. What? So it says the tests work. Did it put them? There's chatter map tests. There's greet my mom tests. Where did it write the tests? Pomodoro feature tests. Run those. Because it looks like they didn't run over here, but you say they ran. I don't believe you. Yeah. No, see? Ha! They don't work. So let's do this. Close you. The tests for the Pomodoro mode are returning a lot of failures. Investigate. Yeah, go take a look at that. And while it's doing that, this Pomodoro overlay, it put it together as a complete web page. Sure, go ahead. Run the tests again. You'll see. like the question overlay, this isn't a full page. It specifies empty layout. So I think I want to change the layout. See, there you go. I'm implementing iDisposable on this. But this is also server interactive. In the dispose of this one, it's releasing a timer. So, that. Yeah, do that. They are virtual. Yeah, good. Go ahead and mock that. Make it happen. So I can change the layout here. Get rid of this. Move this into isolated CSS. Yeah, I know it is. Good. Fix the tests. So I think I can fix this pretty easily, right? Where'd the question overlay go? Right at layout. Yeah, empty layout. You don't like that, do you? Sure. Which means then get rid of all that. Get rid of these. Format document, you're gonna... Hey, good. And I need to move this. Oh, wait a sec. I don't like that it's body there. Let's put a div around this. Yeah. Pomodoro overlay. No, I don't need all that stuff. Yank that. No. Cool. So now I can take this, and I've got that. That'll work. Napalm says, I love C#, but lately I've been thinking it can be a bit verbose. They have been doing great work with syntactic sugar. Sometimes I see the appeal of not needing a class for everything. Tell me more. There we go. Like, you're right. It can be a bit verbose. There are object-oriented things that you kind of get forced into. It says all tests are passing. Are they, though? Sure looks like it. You just did that. 55 tests now. Good. I'm going to move this into an isolated CSS file so it's not right there. Where'd it go? Yeah, Pomodoro mode feature. Yep. Pomodoro overlay razor. Yeah, that one. Now, what's this one? I don't know what this one is. But this one. Can I right click and add? No. Give me a new file? New file? No. Can I do that? Yeah. Pomodoro overlay razor CSS. Give me all that. Paste it right there. I can get rid of that. Where was it? It was in dub root. This one. All right. Let's see if this works. That's not a bad idea, DGen1. That's not a bad idea at all. Let's test what it built. No, that one. .NET Watch. Classes are great for readability and single purpose. Sometimes you just want to write procedural code. Having to think, well, I need this option subclass here or plug in this adapter. It gets to be a lot for unit testing and does start to degrade readability. So this is where there are folks who actually prefer using F# to write tests. Look at that. Pomodoro mode. Ta-da! It knows what that is. And Pomodoro overlay for OBS. There's nothing there. Go to the dashboard. What's the dashboard look like? Look at that. Pomodoro mode. Additional stream controls will be added here. We're going to work on this. Because when my new display arrives, I'm going to want these side by side. Hey, the bog rat. Now it isn't showing your name here with that. All streams live, processing. This annoys me. I'm going to figure that out. So let's see if this works. Hey. Now, what's it doing up there? Like, it put the overlay on the screen. Not bad. I'd like to move the time down here. I'd like to make it a little bit shorter and wider. Yeah. And the stops. Okay. We're gonna have to come back to this one. I'm gonna open Notepad. Usernames are not appearing next to the map on dashboard. All right. And the messages up there, we're gonna clean that up a bit. All right. Go ahead, take a look at the hat. There you go. Yes, keep those. Close that. It was on the dashboard. That's fine. I think we're okay with how the feature works. Yeah, over here. Oh, man. I don't like that. It's got to be hiding in here somewhere. Right there. That's the control. That's fine. Chatter map. Where's the... How's it deciding to show the overlay? Unless it's in the control. I can close you and you. This one. Don't need that one. Don't need you either. I've already looked at you. This one. Yeah. Come here. This is after main. So is that in... Did it put it in the layout? It did. Dirtbag. I don't want it over there. Hey, 99 MRX, how you doing there? I'm looking at the quote that the bot generated. If Internet Explorer is brave enough to ask to be your default browser, you are brave enough to ask that girl out. Okay. All right, so right, and I have, yeah, the watch is running, so if I tell it to start, yeah, it's not there now. Okay, let me go to the messages that it wrote, that it's writing. We don't need that. Don't need you. I'm going to want to change the dashboard. Yeah. But it was also in Pomodoro mode featured down here. The text. Questions will be queued until the session ends. We'll now engage with chat and your questions. Oops. There we go. All right. I'm so now, right, developer toil things. Move the inline styles in this file to an isolated CSS file. Go move that. What's up, 99MRX? How you doing there? There we go. Right, just did that real quick. And because I'm using GPT 4.1, no muss, no fuss, and no charges against my my utilization, right? There's a premium set of premium requests here that you get, and I've already burned through 15% of them. Yeah. There we go. So that was moved, and I'm good with that. Yep. Go ahead, keep all that. Thank you. Format document. Appreciate it. What do we... Looks fine. Haha! And somebody created that as a clip. Nice. Thank you, Surly Dev. All right, so I wanted to also take a look at this. What happened to the user locations? You can go away. Nah, I guess that's okay above the map. I don't mind that. Yeah. Dashboard is looking awesome. So I can show you this. I have one of these coming tomorrow. So it's a 12.3 inch portable touchscreen monitor at 1920/720. So it's a wide screen, but it's touchscreen. And I'm going to put the Charlie dashboard on this and have it down low here on my desk. So that not only do I have my Stream Decks, but I'll have this that I can touch and interact with Charlie. So that's coming. I feel like I should. I could make a cardboard overlay and make a massive Stream Deck. Yes. Yes. My current setup is not on Discord. I do need to update the blog post out there that shows my my current setup. And I need to do things like describe the wireless microphones that I'm going to start using here. Hey Jeff, Razer syntax highlighting needs some work, no doubt. No doubt. Even if I tell it reload window, better. You have a couple of USB monitors, very useful, but they could be good for certain apps, tool windows. Yes, totally agree. I think something happened in Chatter map feature then. How am I going to debug into that? Let me take a look at... Now, see, why does it say it didn't run tests there? And even then, these namespaces, we need to pull them together here. Let me head over there. See if we can figure that out. Features, here it is. So that came down into parse and handle message. It did not have a location name, so it's going to extract the location from the message. Right there. That's what it is. Let's go back up here. There we go. So if no username was passed in, grab it off the message. Otherwise, clean it up and save it. Yeah. Hey, McNets, how you doing there? Razor is such an overloaded syntax? Yes. Razor is... Right, the Razor markup is very much... right, a melting pot of different languages, features, capabilities, right? I mean, look at this. In just this block here, we have HTML, C#, HTML, CSS, C#, more C#. And there are other places where we have JavaScript dropped in there also. Like, oh, it is kind of amazing all the stuff that it has, that it juggles and works with. So, okay. Oh, the other thing I wanted was to clean up that overlay a little bit. Yeah. So let's take a screenshot. Right. This John right here. Thank you. And let's go to the Pomodoro overlay. And let's ask Copilot to do a little bit of design work. The overlay looks really cool, but the time appears on top of the tomato. Can we move that text underneath the tomato and make the entire overlay about... Let's see what it goes. Hey, Billy Cool, how you doing? Weird Beard Dev says Razor reminds them of PHP and not in a good way. I think you're not wrong. I think you're not wrong. So here's the thing. Copilot's going to go make these changes, and we're going to see it automatically refresh right here. What? Is it because I'm still on Claude? Let's change over to GPT. Move this over here a little bit. Put some breathing room in here. So it's effectively restarting the entire request with GPT 4.1 now. There we go. Now reload the overlay. Well, I think we're doing that. Hot reload crashed. Bummer. There it goes. Get reconnected there. Come on, fella. It's probably going to be empty. Yeah, that's what I thought. No, that didn't change anything. No. What did you do? This isn't used because it's over here. Like, dot Pomodoro over dash overlay. No, it's not in here. Maybe it is using this one then. Yeah, I feel like it's not showing that. Hey, Robson. Hello. But I feel like it didn't. Show me the inspector. Right. I don't see the style block. You know what I'm saying? Like, it added a style block there, and it's inside of a div Pomodoro dash overlay. Right there. That style block isn't there. Hello. Nolian
just resubscribed for 25 months.
Thank you so much. 25 months. Much appreciate that support. Charlie's missing dark mode. You're not wrong, but also not a priority. Jeff3902 says Razor can get out of hand if you stick to building reusable components and flux data flows. You can clean a lot of the overwhelmingness up. True. And it's really only possible with Blazor. Totally true. Why isn't this style block showing? Okay. I should see that style block, but no matter what, and it's not there. I don't like that style block there. Right, Pomodoro overlay Razor CSS. I have to do all the keeps. Ooh. Right. Copilot's not, there's something it's not doing. And I can't put my finger on it. Since I add a new file, I need to restart. Also true of PHP. Yeah, PHP similarly has a whole bunch of web code jammed together. But I think that's how we think of web pages is we're generating chunks of strings that are being output and formatted on screen. Yeah, it's what? Right. It's coming out of, well, you can't see it. There you go. It's coming out of web styles. Tomato container. Focus mode. I'm good with that. Like, the timer, I like, I'm going to want this to sit just above my display here. I want the overlay to be 500 pixels wide and 200 pixels tall. Update the layout appropriately. Figure out what it is. Yeah, I'm creating a Pomodoro timer feature here that will run and let folks know when I'm focused on something and help queue up messages as well. Yes. Make those adjustments. Place the time to the right of the tomato. I do need to get the hat detection bot into here as well. Nope, not a new project. This is a new feature in the Charlie chatbot. Yes. Fix those issues too. Cool. Still didn't do it. Like, top right. I don't see it setting a width. Right? Like, it changed the flex direction. And it set the width for the Pomodoro overlay, and that stuff just isn't showing up. This feels like a CSS issue. Like a caching, browser caching issue. There it is, started. No. Show me the CSS. Question overlay, yeah. Pomodoro overlay. There it is. So does that match? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, the encapsulation is getting confused here. I don't know where this one is. Crap. It's not this one. That one. I just smashed up a bunch of files. Refresh that, let it rebuild it. Would a bootstrap card be better for presenting the Pomodoro? Not a bad idea. I like where you're going there, Patty boy. Let me see what it has for me, and then I think you're onto something. Right, so start that, John. Back over here. Yeah, that's ugly. And I lost. All right, hang on. Show me this. I lost the gray background and border on the timer. Yeah. No, I meant the gray background behind the entire Pomodoro display. Revert the change you made to the timer background. Okay. The text focus mode has no styling applied. Fix that one. Cool. I'd like the timer to appear next to the tomato with the text focus mode below that and the progress bar below focus mode. Yeah, I think the progress bar disappeared. It's there, and it looks like it should be filling. No, the time should be horizontally next to the horizontally to the right of the tomato. Right? Should be side by side on a row, focus mode beneath, and then the progress bar. I'm going to give you one more chance at this, and then I'm going to go and write the code myself. Better. I don't like the black background on that. Let's close you. Let's put you over here so we can look at both these. And there's a pulse animation here. I don't know about that. So the timer display, I think we're looking for here. Yeah, I don't want that background. You... Okay. And I'd really like that row, flex direction row, align items center. It's not even center. Oh, no, wait. A little bit better. Let's take that width down a bit. $350? $375. Not bad. I think we can take the height down. If I go to 100, is that too much? Too much. Not bad. And we lost the progress bar entirely. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You go put that back in. We lost all styling for the progress bar. Yeah, that's right. You do that. Nice. I'd like the progress bar to be inside the overlay box. Shrink the size of the tomato and timer so that the progress bar fits. Do that adjustment.
Developers.
Onyx Box, how you doing there? Welcome in. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, that's better. Not bad. It messed with my my justify that I had for the Pomodoro row. Yeah, see, it went and messed that back up. I'm gonna tell it to keep all that. Thank you. And I'm gonna put that back like so. I like that. Probably make the tomato a little bit bigger and make the focus code text a little bit smaller. Focus mode, right? Focus, label, font size. I'm gonna take you down a smidge. And make the how do we make the tomato bigger? Tomato-image. And it's within a tomato container. Can we make you 70? Can I do that? Now, the animation, where's the animation? Right? Whatever. This. That's on Pomodoro. Is it? Maybe it is. If I go to put that into OBS. Right? Yeah, look at that. And hide that one for right now. I don't think it's pulsing. You know? And I thought the tomato was supposed to spin. It's changing color, it says? The pulse animation is barely noticeable. Let's make it bolder. Applying the edits, and we'll see it update right up here. Have a good one, Patty boy. Okay, that's a lot. I like the animation, but that was too bold to add. Scale back a little. Yeah, malicious compliance. Yeah, I'll show you. That's better. Let's apply the pulse only to the timer. Right, so move it from the border to just the text in the middle. I don't think it did that. Did it? It took it off of Pomodoro overlay and it added it to timer overlay. No, I don't see it doing that. It's because it's not timer overlay, it's timer display. It changed the name of that again. That's better. Yeah, that's not bad. And last, let's ask it about the spinning thing. I thought there was going to be a spinning animation for the tomato. It's just dumb. Okay? No, undo that. There we go. However, let's update the pulse animation so that it only animates for the last minute of the timer. Tomato with a face? It's Mr. Tomato! Hey, Sean. How you doing there? There we go. Yes. Please update the Pomodoro overlay razor component appropriately. Go. It's the tomato from VeggieTales. Yes, we're going to just call it Bob. It's Bob the tomato. It's right there doing its thing. Now applies the pulse active class to the timer display only during the last minute of the timer. You go away. So if it is last minute, pulse active. Cool. All right. So we've got a little Pomodoro feature. And there it is on the dashboard. Fantastic. Now, okay, VeggieTales, and it puts somewhere in Vietnam. No, right? No, Vietnam's over there. What's this one in the middle? That's not right. Why am I not using the Windows clock? No. Spin versus rotate. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Sao Paulo showed up there. Chris Funk. Yes. Let me go back to the test, because that's the only one that has the delete on it. There we go. Now that didn't delete. But I should be able to do location set. Yeah. Code with Sean. Tulsa. There we go. That moved. And it set my icon. Developers. Waka Waka. How you doing there? I'm pretty sure I know why it did that. But the remove button doesn't work. Let's commit the Pomodoro feature. What was changed over here? Oh, okay. That's fine. Close down a bunch of this, and then we're going to get over and we're going to work a little bit on TagzApp here. Wow. I don't need all of that. Did it add a markdown about it? I thought it did. Yep, it did. Good. Sure, go ahead, publish that. And excuse me. So, is it open right now? Is what open? Yeah, is what open? Now, who did it put back over here? Message, username. So this is a case where I have a username, but I don't have a message. Yes, yes. If it is not null, that. Good. Otherwise, no, not string, empty. Now, the border and things are gone from above here. But it didn't... Like, it should have hidden the whole thing. Is the site open for public? Not yet. Alright. Move that. Now see, why didn't it put the right image in there? And it says there's 6 locations. I'm seeing them load up here. So there's that one. Yeah, that worked. Fixed. Also, let's make sure the tests work. Mm-hmm. Is the background liquid glass? No. Ah, nuts. I have to stop. Stop the bot. Which means that's... Yup. Just to make sure. Yep, all tests are good. Okay. So that fixed that issue. What was the other one? When location set is run, it's not grabbing the correct user information. That's not as big a deal. That's just for coloring of the pin. Attack from the clone tomatoes. Come on. That's not the right page. Yeah, there we go. But this overlay should have hidden because it's not running. Let me fix that. Pomodoro overlay. I don't need to do equals equals true. Fine. Why don't you like that? No. What? Okay. Why is it still showing the border? Gone. Because it wasn't wrapped properly. Format document. No. And that should do. So now if I start the Pomodoro, should appear. Hey, there we go. And the, what's it called, should fill up there. Can we put a border on that focus mode? Developers. How you doing there? Jeff, thank you so much for the follow. Background is burning your eyes? No, it's not. Stop it. Add a white border to the text focus mode. Yeah. That's awful. Is it running as a separate application? Nope. It's running as a separate service, background service inside of the website. That's awful. Come here. Keep it for now, but we're gonna do something about you. Let's yank that. Better. Better. I'm gonna leave that the way it is, and yeah, sure. Cool. Save that off. And how's it displayed as an overlay without browser? It's OBS. OBS lets me embed browser components. Just like how I do this. There we go. So that's just a browser overlay. Browser, and it's added as an OBS component. And then I can do the things with it. So. And later, it'll appear in my video clips collection over here so that I can edit. This is all videos from the questions from the previous handful of streams. I've taken one or two of these, I've dropped them into Opus Clip, and it's edited the video down and ready for me to put onto YouTube. Oh yeah. We're going to automate the snot out of this thing. Is the clock using Signal R? Yes and no. It's the Pomodoro timer that was up there is a Blazor server interactive component which automatically gets updated when the UI is given directions that state has changed. It automatically gets updated with Signal R because of that server connection. Yeah. So if it was a static website with just static HTML there, I would use Signal R then to push and do that update. Cool. I've got about 30 minutes or so, a little bit more than 30 minutes to, yeah, if I was using WebAssembly, I would have done that also. I'm going to leave Charlie running so that I can do lower thirds answering questions over here. But we're going to bring up TagzApp. TagzApp's an application we've been working on for a few years now, off and on, to build integrations with social media networks so that during live events, or if we just want to go and research and look for some hashtags that are being used on various social media networks, we can go explore that and it'll bring that information back to us. And I think, yeah, it's over here. Man, I forget where we were with this. Let's take a peek at what's going on in here. Oh yeah. This is going to be a doozy. Oh yeah. So Opus Clip it will automatically edit. If you attempt to give it, if you attempt to give it larger video clips, it will use more of your allocated resources to try to edit that down. So trying to get it focused on, here's just the thing that I want to talk about. Here's just the 5 minutes, and let it edit that. Works great. Works pretty good. Oh! This was adding the Azure Queue feature. That's what this was. So, and we're on an independent branch here. Sure, go ahead, add all the things. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, publish that branch. That's fine. Cool. Mythin says, I probably don't want to hear it, but this create a clip of a question being answered looks a lot like an amazing ClipTalk V2 feature. Yes. There are other features that other streamers are using to automatically clip something on Twitch. The problem with generating a clip on Twitch, hey, thanks so much for the follow. The problem with generating a clip on Twitch is you are limited to 60 seconds. Creating it as a highlight on Twitch, yes, you can make a highlight as long as an entire stream. And the clip API is very much trash. Yes. The interactions are not great. So what I do, and some of the automation that I need to figure out here is I download the video after the stream is over, and Charlie has FFmpeg embedded inside of it. It goes and chops that MP4. Yeah, the Twitch API has gone through a number of iterations, and quite frankly, the folks at Twitch that manage the API do it on a part-time basis. That it's not their priority, and what's in the public API that is available to us is a dramatic subset of what's in the private API that the React application that is Twitch uses. So it's good to a point. There are other interactions that folks would like and notifications from Twitch that they don't offer. The overlay I'm creating, is it done by OBS integration? Yes. Mm-hmm. The private Twitch API is a very dangerous move. I was using the private API to download clips from Twitch. And that was a known risk in ClipTalk. It was an acknowledged risk. And I was okay with that. That API is still there, but Twitch is very much competing with us now. How did I activate what? The overlay? The overlay is here. Those overlays appear because I've made a change, and I've instructed that browser component make this part visible now. So it's now visible. So, hey, Ellieface, how you doing? With a comment here. What do you mean the API is a part-time endeavor by the company? You mean they can't shove ads in it so they don't consider it a monetary path forward? Facts. I've talked about this a number of times, and I think that you want to show off your golden kappa. You have a golden kappa? Stop. Do you? Here's the thing. Twitch makes money when people watch advertisements or buy subscriptions or pay for cheers. Where do you have a golden kappa? You do not. So it's in Twitch's best interest to get more people watching Twitch. How do you get more people watching Twitch? You spread word about some of the great content that's on Twitch. How do you do that? Well, you market and promote it. But when folks build interactions, you did get a golden kappa. How did you get a golden kappa? I don't have one of those. So by having third parties create integrations and features, and those third parties, they're getting paid because those features are being used. Those third parties now are promoting Twitch, and they're promoting it without you paying for it. That's an amazing bit of free advertising you get. And Dan Clancy, Dan, are you listening to me? You have killed your ecosystem by bringing all of those features internally. Dan, are you listening to me? You have taken away the incentive for other people, other companies to promote and talk about your service. Dan, are you listening to me? People are talking about TikTok because they can embed TikTok in various places where other people can find it and integrate with it, and they can sell products natively directly in the application, and they can take TikTok can take a little bit of profit margin on it. Dan, open your flippin' mind and let the integrations happen again. Dan, what are you doing, buddy? That's all I have to say about that. Hey, no diff. Right there in Edmonton, Canada. We'll put that on the map. So, I want that to open in a new panel. There we go. There we go. Right. That looks like the world. So, your name is Dan. You feel personally attacked? Sorry, lifeofdan.me. Yeah, the CEO of Twitch, his name is Dan Clancy. He's actually got a number of... Hey, thanks so much for the resub. Kato, hello. And not even resub, bringing that first sub. Hello. Thank you so much. And we got a couple folks adding their... opening your mind. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, a couple folks sharing their locations. Getting them plotted on the map there. Thank you so much. Dan's got a number of vacancies in his direct reports. They're not hey, great to see you. I don't think it's gonna find that one. How many times have I had that conversation? So here's the deal, Mythin. I'm gonna step away from this. Here's the deal. Are you ready for this? I was at St. Jude in April. Dan Clancy showed up in Memphis. And on the second night of the event, Twitch was hosting a little party get together at the hotel's rooftop bar. I found my way up there, and I'm sitting down enjoying a taco and an adult beverage, and who comes walking by but Dan Clancy? And Dan, hey, nice to see you. I want to introduce myself. My name's Jeff Fritz. I'm C# Fritz on the platform. Really enjoy using Twitch. Thanks so much for coming out and supporting the charity. Terrific. And I just let it go at that. Meanwhile, the next day, Dan does this whole host of a Twitch stream live from the venue, this, that, and the other thing. Afterwards, there was a reception, everybody having dinner, good time. There's various activities going on. And I'm sitting down at a table with a couple friends. And who should walk by looking for a place to sit with a plate of food for dinner but Dan Clancy? Dan, hey, why don't you join us? Come on over and sit down. Hey, Jeff, nice to see you. And Dan comes over and sits down. And we make small talk. And then I drop it on him. You know, Dan, I've seen you've brought a number of features in-house recently. It'd be great if we could expand the tent a little bit here and get more folks helping out, growing Twitch, get some other businesses growing and letting this go and helping out with those efforts. He said, yeah, we're talking about different ways that we can promote and grow things here. So I'm not sure the integration message got in, but he's definitely looking at growing that. But yes, I had a conversation with Dan Clancy about exactly that. So, no, some of your requests, asking to plant a pin in Utopia Planet Mars, no, doesn't show up there. So, but yeah, there, our friend Sean staked his claim to Tulsa out there, and of course, yeah, my history with clips integration, right? But my new video clips feature that I've built, when there's a question that I put up on stream, it identifies and loads that and cuts the video perfectly for that video, right? So, right here, like if I can go to this. This is a straight video, and I cut it 10 seconds before, 10 seconds after. Right? That's weird. It's me showing me. Because Patty Boy with a question here. What's the criteria for determining if users are close to each other? Right. So I can take this now, drop it into Opus Clip, let it edit, and I've got a Twitch clip. I've got a TikTok clip. I've a TikTok short, YouTube video that I can put it all together and publish. So that's kind of cool. And I have it doing all of that automatically. The next piece that I'm building, I'm transcribing these. And I'm going to use that to generate YouTube thumbnail, YouTube description, and do the whole upload all at once. Just automate the whole thing. So I've got a direct pipeline from content that's happening here, automate it, and push it up to YouTube or TikTok. Oh, it's going to be so good. But that's not what I'm working on right now. But the tour does work, right? There we go. Lazy Dev says, my Pro C# 10 with .NET 6 book arrived today. Are you kidding? I can hardly wait to read it. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't study from PDFs or Kindles. I just have a certain relationship with books. Lazy Dev, I've heard that. The tactile relationship that folks want from being able to feel and touch a book. And that interaction is something very cool that people want to appreciate. I get it. I totally get it. But hopefully, like, streams and things that we do here help out. Somebody showed up in the last stream and said, hey, I loved watching and going through C# in the cards. I think I need to do more C# in the cards episodes, and then turn that into a book with Amazon Publishing. Like, I have all the content, turn it into a book and send it up to them. Like, profit. So I've actually had a number of folks poke around at the various content bits that we've created here on stream, that are very interested in doing more with these things. We'll figure it out. I've only got so many hours in the day, and I'm looking at Charlie as a way to automate one chunk of that. So, back over here, I wanted to do some work with TagzApp. There's a handful of things that I want to do here, and I keep saying I want to turn this into a tool that the average streamer can use that isn't, like, Docker dependent. That's not where I am today. And I think... See, look, this is like an old version of Aspire that's out here that it's using. Go to... Give me the folder. Oh my goodness. Right? Like, look at this. It's 9.1. So, there's an upgrade that we need to do here. And what did I put up in? Oh, yeah, all the dashboards. Oh my gosh. And they kind of fade away now that we have .NET Aspire. And I need a Copilot instructions file. It's a lot to do there. Talk to it, Fritz. Come on now. Let's generate a copilot-instructions.md file. Oh, there we go. This project uses Blazor and attempts to adhere to Blazor coding standards. Period. The TagzApp application is intended to be an integration with several different social media networks, gathering messages based on a specific hashtag and returning that content to a waterfall user interface that an administrator can navigate and work with. There we go. Generate that. Really? Copilot dash instructions? Really? Are we that? Oh, forget it. And we want to put that... Yeah, there we go. Yep, okay. For users, I'll just say that. To Copilot dash usage. I can help you with that. I can help you with that. Integration, hashtag monitoring, yep, waterfall UI, administration, sure. What's Copilot? No. Yeah. What's my experience with GitHub Copilot GPT 4.1 versus Sonnet 4? Let me. Heck yes, I love that question. Right? So, and I mentioned this earlier. This dashboard that I use for Charlie, I have that wide touch screen coming, and I'm going to put this on a touch screen right in front of me so that I can interact with it without it being on screen. When was what video made? There we go. This comment from Heck Radar. What's my experience with GitHub Copilot with GPT 4.1 versus Sonnet 4? Have I tested it yet? Yes, I have tested it. I've worked on a number of things with switching back and forth between the two models. Claude Sonnet from Anthropic is very chatty. It's very descriptive of what it's using. GPT 4.1 is very direct in what it's responding. So this command that I ran to tell it, hey, go create an instructions MD. And of course, when I dictated this and it didn't format that file name properly, but it was very clear. Boom, this is all that I'm going to say. I'll change that model. Now let's go to Claude Sonnet 4. Right? Update, and let's say update the instructions file to tell it, to tell Copilot to abide by my .editor config. And let's now watch what Claude does. It's very descriptive of what's going on. Here's my step-by-step solution. I need to update. I'm going to add guidance. It's describing to me all the things that it did versus all this did was say, I created this. So there's a difference in how that performs. And we'll see that as we go through more of developing and swapping back and forth. I do want to make sure that I call out, I recognize, when you're working with Copilot, there are rate limits for the different usages that you're working with. There are premium requests that you go through when you choose to use one of the Anthropic models or the Google models, right? If you're using GPT from OpenAI, they're included. No additional fee, and you can use a lot of those inside of your applications, inside of your Copilot work. Thanks so much for the question, and we're going to be doing more with Copilot here on the stream. And now it's edited out, and I'll be able to edit and bring that together, and I'll have a video later. There was another question in there I do want to bring up. Ice Cream Stick Model asks, where are the clips stored? On my local PC right now. My eventual goal with the Charlie chatbot is package it as a container and run it on my Synology server over here in my home, so that when I'm done stream, load the video onto my server, because the server has 15 terabytes of storage. It's got the markers. Charlie has the markers of when questions appeared. Let it cut up those videos. It stores those files in another location, another file location on disk, and I'll have it do that extra bit of analysis that I have yet to write. But it'll do that extra analysis to put together, here's everything that should go with this video to be on YouTube or TikTok, and get it uploaded. The ability that I have to hand off some of these things that might give me writer's block, that give me that ADHD block of, hey, I feel intimidated by this. I'm not sure how to start with this. I want to do a little bit of research. Is this good enough? Copilot gets me right over that concern quickly, especially when I can dictate to Copilot. And that makes me feel better as a developer, that I can at least jumpstart my process of figuring out where to store things, how to edit things, how to process things, and move that along. Even better, as I get through and get to what I think is completing a feature, I'll ask Copilot, okay, I think we finished this. Do you have any ideas, any suggestions for additional ways that I can enhance whatever. And it'll come back. You know, I'll tell it, give me 10 ideas of how I can enhance this. And it'll come back with suggestions. And usually about half of them are trash. No, I don't want to do that. But there's 1 or 2 nuggets in there that I want to do. And I'll follow up on those. Haven't used 4.0. I thought I saw another question in there. I thought I saw another question in the queue. Oh, Chris Funk. See, if questions end with a question mark, I can clip them and put it into. Chris Funk asks, how do I manage family, training, personal projects after work? I know it comes down to time management, but it seems to be difficult at times. Here's the deal. I don't sleep. No. Honestly, my personal training, learning how to do things better, you're watching me do it live on stream. I automate as much as possible around stream after stream. I'm going to sound like a shill. I'm going to sound like a company man for a second, and I apologize, but it's the truth. I've been using Copilot to automate more and more of the things that I would normally work on, and that take me hour to do. And it has been a massive time savings. Not just that, but the motivation that it gives me then that I'll let Copilot go and do something, and I'll go work on something else. Hey, let Copilot go work on this thing. I'm going to go over to Discord while Copilot's working and respond to some folks, handle some interactions there, go over to GitHub, log some issues, some ideas that I have. It's fantastic. You let Copilot walk your dog. What? No, you don't. But I have, to a little bit to Lazy Dev's point, but in all honesty, I have used Copilot in agent mode in Visual Studio, instructed it to go and implement a feature, solve some bugs, write some unit tests, and then go on and walk the dog. Come back, tweak and tune, okay? Give Copilot some more instructions, and then go make dinner. Like, don't look at Copilot as something that... Don't look at Copilot as a tool that's going to help you write code better. It's a tool that's going to generate the code, that's going to build parts of the application and get you jump-started on capabilities, features, and give you ideas. And ask Copilot to interview you about where you want to take things. You will be amazed at how that discussion... It sounds stupid to call it a discussion because Copilot is not a personality. It is not a robot. There is not somebody behind it typing back to you. But it will get your mind going. It will get you thinking. It will get you unstuck. For a rank and file developer, that is so valuable. Give it a try. Tech Agent with a question here. Unsure how I've configured clips. Perhaps I could catch messages that start with how or why to catch questions that are missing a question mark. Is this something I've tried? That's not a bad idea. And this isn't so much a clip capability, but the question queue of things that I process I identify those comments based on they end with a question mark or my screen name is mentioned in the message. And it goes into the queue. There are other streamers that have many, many thousand people watching them that the gate to get into the queue is a $1 donation, a $3 donation. Like, you have to pay me in order to put your message in the queue for me to acknowledge, and they don't even read chat. I get it. When you get to a certain size, that's a thing. I believe there's a better way to do that. This is my first gateway to get into how to get my attention to respond to things, particularly when that Pomodoro timer starts running. I think there's going to be more ways to do that I'm going to innovate, build, and roll out later. And I'm going to keep them to myself because I know there are folks that are watching and will be copying. So, thanks so much for the question. Really appreciate it, Tech Agent. So, all right. I am right up against the time. I'm gonna have to come back to TagzApp another time, or maybe even later today. What does my schedule look like today? Like, I have a schedule. What do we got? I have a meeting with Gunner coming up, but I can drop into one of the chat rooms on Discord and hang out there and work on TagzApp from the Discord in a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. But for now, I do need to wrap up. I've got a couple minutes until my meeting. You know the folks at Gunner, and I don't need to tell you too much about them. They make the cool glasses that you see me wear. I'm a Gunner ambassador. You can find my picture and profile over there on the Gunner website. It's always a pleasure to work with them, talk with them. They'd like me to stream on their channels in the future. I'm looking forward to that opportunity, and we'll have more about that I'll share with you as that starts to get in the plans, in the schedule here. Like I said, I'm going to be hanging out on Discord after I've got the Gunner meeting. I've got another meeting a little bit later, but I'm going to get some lunch real quick here, and I'll be around on Discord. Call it about 90 minutes. I'll be hanging out over there, all right? Thank you so much for watching. It's been, like I said, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Ice Cream Stick Model says, what if we analyze the chat messages more, and if it contains some question-like words or verbs? I think we can do that with a little bit of regular expression, Ice Cream Stick Model. I think you're right, and we can do that with regular expression. I'd like to avoid running AI against every message that goes through chat. Ooh. That could get dangerous. So, but thank you so much for watching, all of you out there. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you, to talk. I love the trolling. It's so much fun, and having a good time hanging out and getting stuff done. You know what? Our friends on the Visual Studio channel are hosting an event called VS Code Live, and they're talking right now about best practices for mastering GitHub Copilot Chat. GitHub Copilot Chat is free for you to use. Let me get you connected and sent over there on a raid to the Visual Studio channel. All right? Thanks so much. I'll be in the Discord a little bit later today, hanging out, chatting, and you'll be able to tune in. You don't need to turn on a microphone or a camera, but I'll be hanging out over there, and I'll be back on Thursday. And Thursday, we'll be back working on SharpSight as part of that stream. I'm going to try and dedicate Thursdays to SharpSight. All right? Have a fantastic rest of your day, wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.